Research shows that we turn into grumpy old men at around about the age of 52.
In this show, we're going to share absolutely everything that annoys us.
But how do you know when you become a grumpy old man?
Your idea of going out is sitting in the garden.
You wear black socks with sandals.
Welcome to Grumpy Old Men. So, Mike, still grumpy, which is lovely to see. Grumpy about the BBC, I understand?
Grumpy about the BBC,
It's
yes,
a lovely
very.
institution. Be
Very.
careful what you say.
Well, it's very old, isn't it, the BBC?
Yes.
And that's part of the problem.
I've got a little video
Have you?
about the licence fee. Should we take a look at
Let's
that?
have a look.
Yes, there's a TV set on number 5. It's in the front room. And they're watching Columbo.
If you don't have a TV licence, it won't take us long to find you.
See, that's also rubbish. That's complete rubbish. Well,
Take them forever to find you.
I remember when those vans used to go round, right? And you, as a child, you'd kind of look at them and go, "Oh, I wonder what goes on in the back of that." And now we know, of course, it's probably something rather unsavoury.
Yes.
But they never caught anybody because they weren't
But
detecting
it appears
anybody.
the crime is watching Columbo.
Apparently so.
That's sort of understandable. I'm really pleased to be here because I get called grumpy the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just a waste of money. It's supposed to be a state broadcast. It's a woke left-wing pile of crap, isn't it, if we're
Yes.
absolutely honest?
Oh, it does the odd good drama. Come on, Jeremy.
I can't
I know,
remember
the
last
odd
time.
good drama, but in terms of, I mean, maybe the world's changed, social media, but how many people, my old mum and dad, God, they're not, they're dead, bless their souls, they would watch the BBC News at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The world's changed, but the BBC seems to be like so many of these organisations, Mark, they want to be relevant, or they want to be cool, or they want to be all things to all...
That thing, they want to attract an audience that isn't there for them.
Yeah.
Why not attract the audience that is there?
I don't think it knows what it is. So the legend that was your father, people across the whole spectrum, the whole demographic, you think they would have listened to your dad? It's not like that anymore. The minute you try and make a radio station for that age group or a radio station, I mean, the whole thing about Radio 1 to Radio 2 and all that, and then they get rid of all the old people, and you forget what people tune into people, don't they, or programme.
Yeah.
I just think the BBC's so politically correct.
But look at what they pay them
as
as well.
my dear departed father always used to say, without the talent, it's just 3 letters.
See, I love that.
It's great. It's true, though.
I love that.
It's absolutely true.
If we talk about Hugh Edwards, right? Are you seriously telling me in that organisation that people didn't know what was going on and didn't just turn
They
a
did.
blind eye?
Yeah.
And the reason that I think, Mark, we have a right to be angry about stuff like that, or the licence fee...
Or just grumpy.
Is that...
Or just grumpy.
Or just grumpy.
Yeah.
Is that we pay the bloody licence
Exactly.
fee. So you
Yeah.
have an entitlement to be grumpy.
And also-
so that a weird Nancy bloke doesn't turn up outside your house in a van going, "Are you watching Columbo?"
Yeah, exactly right.
But what they are all watching, or what the BBC is trying to attract, is all the people who are looking at their phones. And you have a little bit of an issue
Kids,
around
they're like that the whole time.
I can't actually
I
write
cannot
anymore.
bear sitting at a dining table with my children and they're all doing that. Half an hour a night. Stop it.
No
surely.
phones at my table.
Should you
Well,
not
they're
ban
gonna
them?
listen to-
Ban
what-
them from having phones at the table.
Right, let's just be real. You can play it, but how old are your kids?
He's 17.
Right, many.
Yeah.
Like me. Do me. Does that, when you ban it, does it actually work,
Well,
or do you
if I
get a
say-
morose teenage idiot?
No. If I say to them, look, they don't bring the phones to the table. I don't bring my phones to the table. They just don't have them. You know, they can be on them
Bad
the rest of the
parenting.
time.
I mean, to be fair, you've both got your phones at the table.
I have. I don't know
Brilliant.
why,
That's-
really.
We've got a little...
He's
don't
absolutely
know why.
he's absolutely scup only because your producer's sending us directions for timings and stuff.
Excellent.
Good.
Well, there's a timing towards a video now about a school in Ohio.
Students at Dunbar High School in Dayton, Ohio, placed their phones into these envelopes labeled with their names and grades.
The mornings are just like TSA. Bags, purses, food.
Most Dunbar students have gotten used to the new norm, but some still try to sneak in their cell in a hidden pocket, a bag of chips, a book with a phone-shaped cutout, but this one takes the takeout container. Yep, that's a phone under the chicken.
Did you ever keep your phone under a chicken?
I've
Mark?
never put my phone under a chicken.
Can I just
no.
say, actually, so one of my kids goes to boarding school and they do that at night, like at 8 o'clock, right? That's a really good idea for all day at school. But how are they going to do that all day at school if they don't go and see a teacher? They get, oh, well, come and see me. They send messages all day.
Well, the thing is also they get out of school and they get the phone and then they're on it all night anyway. So, you know.
I just also Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, watching that American School, you wonder where they could put the guns. You know, 'cause
No, they're not worried about those.
they're not worried
the
about those.
phones.
They've got a right to have a gun. You know,
Just
there's no
along
problem
the
there.
long thing about glued as well. Like this spreads this out. My other, and we'll talk about walking later, is people who are so onto their mobile phones glued to them, they walk into you in the high street.
And do you know what I also hate? The people who do those conversations with the speaker on.
Oh.
They're like talking into the
Get
phone
some
like
headphones.
this. Yeah, get some headphones. And you can hear the person they're talking to answering them back. As
Like
they're-
anybody
and they're-
gives a damn about that
Or
conversation.
right.
Or if you go to a concert to see someone play some music, they FaceTime their mum. I was at a festival and I experienced something that really gets up my nose.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid coffee order, right?
Right.
So the next day, there's all this sea of sort of hungover people, and there is this, I will refer to him as a person in front of me, stretching himself out, doing yoga moves.
Oh, God.
You know, trying to get over the vast amount of ketamine he'd taken the night before.
Yeah.
And he walks up to the counter, he goes, can I have a turmeric oat milk latte?
Oh, for God's sake.
Like it's somehow better than this.
Yeah.
Like it's somehow going to cure the excesses of the night before.
Yes.
Stupid coffee orders. What is wrong with coffee?
Just coffee.
Doesn't
You know,
matter anymore,
when you
yeah.
go in and go, can I have a iced venti latte?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
5-shot decaf, extra ice.
Welcome to Cafe Organica. How may I help you?
Yeah, can I just get some coffee, please?
What kind, sir? Latte? Cappuccino? Macchiato? Espresso?
Just a coffee, like a normal coffee.
So an Americano? What kind of milk? We have almond, soy, oat, macadamia, cow, dog, rat, hamster.
No milk, please.
Would you like that hot, iced, warm, down?
That reminds
See, I
me.
love
That reminds me of my first sort of time properly in America when I went to visit my soon-to-be wife when I was about 19 or so, 20, and ended up getting kicked out of her house for one reason or another. It's too complicated.
Because her father met you.
Something like that. And I went to stay with some other people and got a job and went in to work with this guy who works in the bottom of the World Trade Center. And he took me to this diner, to get a cup of coffee in the morning. And I'd never seen anything like it. And there was about 10 guys behind the counter. What do you want? And I was like, can I have a bacon and egg sandwich? What kind of bread? I don't know, brown. What do you want on it? I don't know, butter? Butter? Yes. Butter! Okay, butter, yeah. And it just went like that.
Yeah.
I was absolutely thrown by all of it. I was like, what's going on?
Well, it's like the other one of you go in to an empty Costa or Starbucks or whatever like that, and you go, I'll have a black Americano, please.
Right.
And they can I have your name, please?
Right.
I'm the only person.
Very
Why
true.
do you need
They
my name?
overcomplicate coffee
Do you ever give them the
nowadays?
wrong name, like a stupid name?
Yeah, no, Elvis.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Genghis.
Adolf.
How do you spell Genghis?
Yeah.
But it's that thing. So I went in, completely empty one, said, we have to take your name, it's part of our policy. I went, all right, my name's Mark.
I hate that.
My name is Mark.
Yeah.
Right? So the same person who took the order then made the coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
I know what's going to happen.
And then called out, Mike, Mike. So I just stood there.
But I mean,
It was like,
And said,
she's
"It's not-
going,
not for me."
Mike, Mike, no.
it's
my
like
name-
the
it's
Labour
not for me."
Party's idea of full employment, isn't it? 5 people to actually provide 1 cup
Yes.
of coffee. One will take the order, one will warm the milk, one will ground the coffee, one will wander around replacing
Yeah.
the sandwiches, and the other one will go, anybody here? Honestly.
But also the people at the tills are like sort of unnecessary crap pushers.
Yes.
Would you like whipped cream? No.
No.
Marshmallow? No.
No.
Would you like caramel? No.
Right.
I just want a coffee.
Yeah.
It's been around for
I just
years.
want-
it works.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
drink it. I like it. I do not need it frappéed. I
No.
do not. No. None of it.
No.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely right. Probably.
Now, moving on,
This worries me, this next bit.
you're going to talk to us about marriage.
I'm going to
Mike.
talk to you about marriage. I know you're both married.
Yes.
I was married, only once.
Is
by
this
the way.
going to be,
times
is this
has he
going to be
been married?
instruction?
He's only been married once.
Once.
Telling me. Yeah.
I'd like to congratulate you for as the old man used to say, the War Office has ground me down.
Right. So that's what, 6 between the 3 of us then?
1,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah. 4.
3.
I thought you were 4.
3.
Okay then.
3.
Well, he's still young. Right?
There's still time.
There's still time for another one.
Yeah, no, I'm done
No,
with it.
but I just think it's such an old-fashioned, outmoded idea because, the idea of marriage was when it was started up in the kind of Middle Ages. You were the, the guy that went out and hunted for whatever it was, got yourself a job, The woman stayed at home looking after the kids, if you could have any, and that was fine. But now, in sort of 2024, I just don't think it's a thing. It doesn't work for anybody.
So you're saying you wouldn't do it again?
I certainly wouldn't do it again.
He appears to not be able to stop doing it.
He loves getting married.
I don't want to be judged here at all. That's very unfair.
This is not about judging you. The number of people that I know who are in marriages that they hate, right? I talk to them all the time, but they don't know how to get out of it. They don't want to leave. Really.
So the flip side,
it's quite expensive.
It's quite expensive.
So the flip side of that was my old girl. No, my old girl used to say to me.
Can we get a cumulative figure as to how much that
I don't
might
think
have
I'd
cost
been
you
anywhere
both?
like the same ballpark, but I'd be certainly talking upwards of about 200,000 or 300,000 and a house.
He's not talking about it.
No, I mean I don't think it pales into insignificance.
I would say two things seriously about it. The old girl used to say to me, the problem with your generation is, and this is really interesting, where I think it has changed, like you said, she goes, first sign of trouble, you look bugger off somewhere else. Yeah. We had to get our heads down, which then begs the question, how many people, I don't know, the older generation, because they didn't seem to split up, how many were in miserable marriages and just made that commitment?
I would say most of them.
How many were in miserable jobs and stuck to it? One thing I will tell you about marriage, there's no bitterness in this comment, this is an absolute fact. Marriage settlement and the law is so completely anti-men, and it is something I will say from now till the end of time.
If you want
to my mate again yesterday, outrageous.
If you want to take the romance out of marriage, just talk to some lawyers. I mean, the lawyers kill everything, literally. Even if you manage to find a deal and you agree, the lawyers go, no, we can't agree to that.
My mate said to me, I should
agree to it.
My mate said I should just have had sex with her a few times and given them a frigging house. That would have been all right.
Well, I mean, that's the old joke, isn't it? That, what's his name? Henny Youngman used to make. He said, I'm not going to get married again. I'm just going to find a woman I don't like and buy her a house.
But also, I'm going to stick up for marriage because I know it's taken me 3 times. He knows, Vic, saved my life. Different class, different gear. And then people go, oh, my God, well, why didn't you wait? Well, I don't know. So some people are lucky. You're obviously very lucky. And Mrs. Wogan is
I think it's that thing. If you've been with someone over 20 years, you've been divorced at least twice. It's just nobody left.
You've just had the row.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't think people are meant to be together for that long. It doesn't make any sense.
I asked the old man before he passed, and he said to me, well, I sort of stopped listening after 6 months, to be honest. Well, you were together for 60 years. He said, well, just apart from bringing me food and the morning cuppa and everything, I don't know. The War Office it was just a noise that I tended to ignore.
Yeah, and some people live like that and they're quite happy. But I just think it's,
Yeah, but you're a romantic.
I am sort of.
You believe that it should be. And there's
I'm
nothing
not
wrong
good
with
at that, but I'm not very good at that either.
I think that the romance behind a big white wedding and all that, I think people nowadays go, how much is that going to cost? What's it going to cost me?
But people spend more money on weddings now than they've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, weddings have been... Let's go to Barcelona and go to a wedding. It's like, what are you thinking? People have to
not the
fly
registry
halfway
office, because you've got
my daughter, right, who's in her 30s... I missed that.
She got someone up the duff.
Quick one at the registry office.
Yeah.
Gretna Green, off we go.
My daughter's been to about 5 weddings of friends of hers, right? One was in Singapore, one was in Mexico, one was in Barcelona. It starts to get pretty expensive.
I mean, it used to be that you'd have a wedding and it was an excuse to maybe have a car journey and go and get drunk and eat some catering food.
Yeah.
Now, airline tickets, hotels...
Bridesmaids' dresses.
Other people's weddings are really expensive.
Yeah. They really are.
Mind you, I did get married in France.
OK. Going to turn that on me?
No, not at all. No.
Listen, I think
I held my hands up. I'd had enough. I fell in love with somebody else. I moved out.
I think
she still hates me, by the way. My first wife, my only wife.
Does she?
Maybe they had it right about marriage a while ago. Let's have a look at this.
Harvey, want anything special for your birthday?
Just a decent cup of coffee.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. Honey, your coffee's undrinkable.
It's pretty harsh.
Well, so's your coffee. The girls down at the office make better coffee on their hot plates. Well, see you later.
And he didn't even kiss me goodbye. If I could just make a decent cup of coffee, I could relax. So, relax. Why don't you try Instant Folgers?
Instant Folgers taste good as fresh perked.
Well, isn't that lovely? Why don't we live in the 50s anymore?
Well, some people still do.
Yeah. I do think we miss certain stuff about that sort of era, to be honest. Is why I think we're on our backsides.
It was a lot simpler, wasn't it? Everybody knew what they should do. And I think now people don't know. I mean, young men, for example, now have no idea what they're supposed to be doing with women.
No.
They have no idea what they can
Can't
say.
open the door, get called
what they
sexist, can't say you look beautiful because you're objectifying them. That's why we get called grumpy, because we hark back to that era where it was all right to treat a woman like that. But you can't say woman now, can you?
Well, I think you can say woman, but you might not be a woman.
And she could have a penis.
She could, which is always a bit of a surprise, to be honest.
Not a great one either, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that seems to have disappeared, which you're upset about, is cash.
Well, I said to you earlier, this really hacks me off and makes me grumpy, because everybody says to me, oh, you're so old-fashioned, you miserable old git, and you always talk about writing letters. What's wrong with cash? I just came on the train and I got off and I got some cash. I can't buy a ticket on the London Underground with cash now. And if now I'm on one now.
You can't get on a bus.
Oh, if I wanted to put my note in, because I had to get some cash for later, it won't give me change. So at $6.70, that horrible man's made £3.30 out of me, Sadiq Khan.
That horrible man, yeah.
All of those things to me, right, I look now as old-fashioned, writing a letter, spending cash, having a bit of cash in your pocket, and you pay everything by phone. And my kids laugh at me because I go like that, and they go, "No, you have to do that." I don't give a damn whether I want to be able to have cash in my pocket. Are you not? Do you not think so?
I always
get
have
a roll of
cash.
notes out to buy a pint or whatever.
Well, no, I don't normally do that because I tend to pay for things, either with that or with a card or something like that. But I always have cash on me just in case.
What's wrong with cash? Why is it looked down upon?
Lockdown and then COVID and everything, that's what killed cash off.
Yeah, I know.
But there's in the restaurants, we stopped taking cash because it's like, they're passing...
It might be infected.
Oh, passing the note, right?
Passing the note. It's an infected thing.
Yes. Wasn't there a time during COVID when they were cleaning the notes? I'm sure I saw that. There was some, government initiative.
Well, now they're made of plastic anyway.
Where they cleaned all the notes.
Do you remember when money was made out of paper?
Yeah.
Felt nicer.
Right.
It did feel nicer. Now you can screw this one up and it's all fine. It bounces back to life.
No, but the other thing as well is it slips out your pocket.
All I want, and it does make me grumpy, is I want to be able to have the opportunity or there's that chance to do. No, you're not allowed to have cash. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. That's what really hacks me off about stuff like that I don't have the choice. I always used to go in cabs. That makes me...
Look, it's not that long till the Freedom Pass anyway, is it?
What does that mean?
I've already got one.
You've already got
one?
What
have you got?
I've got a free pass.
What is that? Hold on a minute, you have to be 60. How old?
No, 60 you have to be.
God, Kevin O'Sullivan, what has he got?
His is run out.
Has it? Run out?
Has to get a new one.
You've got a gold one, hasn't he?
Probably, yeah.
I'm 60 next year and I am getting more and more grumpy and hacked off as the months pass. and I think it's almost like, I said to you the other day, I'm turning into the old man on a daily basis, and he was a miserable sod. Let me tell you, in the nicest possible way, he's a miserable sod. But he was Victor Meldrew completely and utterly.
Well, there isn't much that when you get to our age, there isn't much to be going, oh, this is great, isn't it?
Well, I can share this with you too, and presumably Chuck will say this isn't grumpy, but it's very funny. I went to see him in the care home during lockdown because he was locked in, fully expecting quite a miserable reaction. I said, how are you? He says, brilliant. I said, what? Except they can't get away from me, the women in there. Just still thinks the best line ever.
Now, in that care home, did they have something that I cannot stand? Is the zero tolerance signage.
Yes.
Always.
So my thing with that is, right, so you put up a sign saying, we have a zero tolerance policy towards the abuse of our staff.
Yes.
Well, that's a given, isn't it?
Well, you would think so.
But the kind of person who is going to abuse your staff, firstly, probably can't read.
Right.
And secondly, isn't going to take the time. I'm quite angry now. Hold on, let me just stop and read that.
Oh,
actually, no, I'm not going to.
I was going to shout at you.
Because they've got a zero
What about the other way?
policy.
What about the other way? Does that make people think, oh, I hadn't thought about that, maybe I will? That's part of the bleeding nanny state, isn't it?
Well,
that we have to be told when to fart.
I now wish to abuse you with this sign.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you with this sign.
Over the head.
Because you're assuming that I am just readily there to abuse everybody.
Yes.
And luckily you've put this sign up and I'm going to stop.
And it's always followed by nobody deserves to be abused at a place of work or something.
Depends
What if they're really bad at their job?
Well, exactly. But that's the problem because now what you get is if you then complain about anything, oh, that's harassment and abuse, and you
I'm off now for a month with anxiety.
Yeah, I can't be having you talking to me like that, and then suddenly the police turn up and you get arrested.
Yeah.
You literally can't say boo, can you?
No.
You can't say, I'm sorry, that's something. My kids are always saying, don't say anything. And you do get to a point where you go, well, hold on a second, I've just paid a few £100 for us all to have dinner and it was crap. Why can't I say something? Well, it'll be up. It's not their fault. Well, it's somebody's fault. It's
Please don't complain. It's like, why isn't that done? Oh, well, I was busy.
Yeah.
But it is your job.
And then the other one
you do take a salary.
And then they
for
go,
it.
but I'm doing my best. You have that one where people go, I'm doing my best as if that's good enough. Well, sorry, the best is not good enough.
Back to the train station today, seemingly no trains, found a guard, and he literally said to me, bro, I'm busy. And I went, but could you not just answer my question?
Right.
And I'm busy, walked off. Brilliant. See
Well,
what
he knows he can say that because there's a sign up that means you can't abuse him.
Right.
You mean I can't question him? I can't speak to
So
him.
you can't say anything. Yeah, so that's what it
because
becomes.
where does the abuse? Where is the line of abuse?
Yeah.
Well, now it's all.
I drive in on the A40 every day, and there's they're building that HS2, so they've closed.
Oh, they're still doing that.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
It's so quaint.
Sorry, I thought they'd finished that.
No, they're still going. And there's a sign up saying,
Unbelievable.
We do not tolerate abuse of our staff.
Right.
Like people are going past in their cars going, hurry up and build that bloody train line.
It is ridiculous, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Now,
but this is the thing. It also has now become Roadworks. We're coming to that, yes.
Can I just point out one thing in a very ungrumpy way?
Yeah.
I love the way the synergy of this is flowing. I mean, somebody would think that this had been produced.
You would think so.
No.
It doesn't feel like it's been thrown together.
We go seamlessly onto Roadworks. Yeah, Roadworks. I mean, I've never seen so many Roadworks, I think, in my entire life as we now have in this country. Yeah. Everywhere I go, and I tend to go to the same sort of places, down to Sussex, back up to London, into Kent sometimes. They just close roads for no apparent reason, you know. And if you're on the motorway, fine, you know about that. But of course, like they have done recently, they shut bits of that off as well. The M25 is shut off now for about 2 months,
and the
or 2
danger
weekends a month.
And the danger with it is, when you alter a road that somebody's on all the time, and they're looking at that, and they're doing this and whatever, it's dangerous. I've got a little VT about this.
Oh, go on.
The Department of Transport insists the dual carriageway isn't outstandingly bad as far as road safety is concerned.
I will not accept that it's a highly dangerous road.
But Mr. Davidson had barely finished speaking when this happened.
So as soon as that work is finished, the Central Reserve safety fencing will go ahead.
Brilliant.
Luckily, no one was hurt in the crash. It was just another example of how hazardous the A19 can be.
Oh, man.
That's my favourite
That's
clip ever.
classic.
And it was a Volvo.
That's classic.
You know my thing about Roadworks? You know when you go down the country lane, like you said, when you go to Sussex or whatever, and there's one bloke sat doing a sort of Sudoku or something in his cab with his feet up, and it's sort of like 100 yards, and nobody's doing anything. That drives me so insane.
That's why they have to put those signs up so you don't lean out and abuse him.
Right.
And they would not assume that would make people grumpy. No. I mean, that is it's one of my... The other thing, by the way, this is an old man's
temporary
thing.
traffic lights as well.
That's a bit... You know when it says road closed?
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the road isn't closed. Although the other day down on the coast, I got all the way down and there was a sort of... I had to reverse back. Reverse of shame.
Yes.
Our only other option after that is to walk.
Yes.
Then you've got the problem with slow walking.
I remember coming to London the first time at whatever age and getting off the tube somewhere and literally having to stand, literally promise you this, boys, against thing as people rush past me thinking, oh my God, it's quite rushed up here, isn't it? Not that I ever did it. I hate slow walkers. You know those people like crabs that meander from side to side, whether they're on their mobile phones or they're listening to something or they're looking, and then if you try and go past somebody, you get... Honestly, I was going down the tube today. Everything's about the underground, isn't it? You think, why don't they read the sign that says stand on the right if you want to stay still? Why? And then if you feel... I can't... Sorry, it's one of those things.
Right.
But it's the lack of spatial awareness.
Right.
It's
They
like
don't know you're trying to get around them.
No idea anyone's around them. And they will just walk really slowly into your path. You see a gap, they fill it.
I think people like that should be removed.
Yeah. Well, you can push it in Manhattan. It used to be like that in Manhattan.
Just have a
not
slow
push
lane.
them in the road.
In New York, you would just literally barge them out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, people used to... Because people walk very quickly.
But that
there
would be
as well.
abuse, and the sign says do not push people.
Well,
in
you
the
can
street.
do
We
it
have
in
a
variety
zero
of ways.
tolerance policy to pushing slow people out the way.
The worst are the people who get off the tube and stop. Have you had that? Where you're standing behind somebody, right?
All the time.
The door's open, they get off and they stop.
Oh, you see, you've started on me now.
They
You're
stop.
with the grumpy.
But
and people, when you're trying to get off, right?
Trying to come on.
And I do it the whole time. Sorry, have you not read the sign? But when I'm trying to get on, right? When I'm trying to get on and I'm trying to get home, get out of my way. Completely get out of it. Complete hypocrisy. Grumpy hypocrisy.
Rules are different. Rules are different.
True.
Now, so you're out walking slowly behind somebody, trying to get somewhere, and then what happens is you get attacked by my least favourite animal in the world.
Yes.
Which is the seagull.
Yes.
I was once walking down quite a smart street in London.
Yeah.
Minding my own business, and before I knew it, there was a seagull on my head trying to peck at my face.
Why?
Well,
that's obviously a
so
psycho seagull.
I then grab it, I throw it away.
Really?
Yeah. It flew back round again, landed on my head again. I threw it off again, so I ducked into a shop.
Jesus.
Right? I ducked into a very smart shoe shop, and I said, "I'm terribly sorry. I've got to come in here because I'm being attacked by the seagull." And the rather dour girl behind the counter went, "Yeah, it's happened about 4 or 5 times this week." It's like, why am I being attacked by a seagull in central
down
London?
on the coast, they love signs where I live.
Yeah.
They love a sign that you say, and they literally, I love watching tourists come down and they get their ice cream or they get their whatever for the day. And they don't think it's going to happen. And these things are vultures. I mean, they'll start to circle.
Down, right?
People now have tents they sit in if they're on the beach because seagulls will nick your food. And I get the danger. There was a kid the other day
They're like shoplifters. Have a look at this. He's just walked into the shop. The auto doors have opened for him. And look, taking it out.
What's he got?
Nobody's stopping him because he's an endangered species.
Is he?
I don't know.
He's got a packet of crisps or something,
He's got a packet of Doritos there.
That's amazing.
Hopefully what will happen is he'll eat loads of those, get obese and die.
They're the hot spicy ones. They're going to blown up.
I've told this story before, but not on this show, so I'll tell it again. I was once mugged by a seagull in Lyme Regis, funnily enough. I was there with my kids when they were a bit younger. And, you know, it was quite summery a day, quite busy on the beach. Kids wanted to go in the water. We went and bought some fish and chips. Sat on the beach eating the fish and chips. Suddenly, clunk, there's a massive, great sort of noise and thunder feeling of something hitting me. And I had no idea what it was. And I kind of shook my head and looked up and saw this seagull just flying off. And I'd assumed it had nicked my fish and chips. But it hadn't nicked my fish and chips. It had nicked my sunglasses.
Nicked your sunglasses?
So it had knocked my sunglasses off my face. And I suddenly looked around and they're not here.
They know where to wait, then swoop down to steal your food. 3 slices of pizza in Caitlin Cullum's case.
I'm really mad about it. I don't understand why the Seagulls feel that they can take everybody else's paid-for food.
Ted Greenberg, NBC 10 News.
Well, that's all for this week for Grumpy Old Men. I would like to say a massive thank you to Mike and to Jeremy, of course, for being exceptionally grumpy with me today. And also, you can catch me on my rather delightful podcast called Spooning with Mark Wogan, which is available wherever you get your podcasts and, of course, on YouTube. Until next time.